Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Craig Young, and in today's video I'm going to be talking a little bit about a blue and gold which I've recently rehomed. She's around 11 years old, she's never had any training, so she doesn't even understand a simple cue such as step up, which can make life quite difficult. In today's video we're going to go through the first 24 hours of her being here, my plans for her, and just a basic assessment of how she is and where I hope to get with her. I hope you enjoy it, guys. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button and give us a big thumbs up. She'd been living with some friends of mine and she just wasn't getting on very well there. The situation wasn't working, she wasn't getting on with them or their other birds. So we discussed it for quite a long time and thought of some different options, and we decided the best option was for her to come and live here so that I could train her. So without further ado, let's get into this video and see how we're getting on. The first thing you'll notice is that her feather condition isn't great. She's really dull, she's lacking oils on her feathers, she just generally looks really scruffy. She has an awful lot of pin feathers in her head, so I thought I'd give her a little bit of a hand with that. They were really dry and needed softening up, so the best thing for that is to get them in the shower, get them nice and wet, and then they break off a lot easier after that. She has a few broken wing feathers, which is absolutely fine because they'll grow out, and we're in no hurry to get her flying. There's a long way to go before all of that. So she had her little shower, a little walk around on the bottom of the bath, which she actually seemed to enjoy. Although she's had zero training in her lifetime, she's been handled at some point, so she was quite easy to get into the bottom of the bath without stressing her out. A little shake to help dry off before she was sat on my lap and I was getting back to preening off those pin feathers for her. She was quite happy with this, but there did come a point where she had had enough and I'd pushed it a little bit too far, and she shows us right here how I have to remember and respect that she's not used to the hands-on handling. I offer my hand here to see if she'll step up, see how close I can get. I'm just testing the waters, pushing it a lot further than I would generally. She ends up on my back, but actually, with my arm in front of her and making my back a non-stable place, she does climb up onto my arm. I was fearing for my arm's safety a little bit at this point, but we did get there and I popped her back down onto the bed. After pushing the boundaries quite hard, I just spent a couple of hours with her just out and about, chilling, getting used to me being around, used to the surroundings before popping her back to her bed to have a sleep. She spent quite some time out with me and she was quite content, sat around me. She sat on the bed next to me, she sat on my leg for quite some time. She wanted to be near me, she just wasn't quite sure of what I wanted from her, which is fine, we can work on that. Here again, I'm asking her to step up and she just really doesn't have a clue what I'm asking her. She's not nasty in any way, she just moves away, lets me know that she's not particularly comfortable with that. All of these big changes were really tiring. She was falling asleep next to me on the bed while just grinding her beak and scratching her head. It was melting my heart, I couldn't cope with the cuteness. It's amazing what a bit of water can do. She's looking so much better already. She's preening so much more after having a bath. I've managed to get rid of most of those pin feathers on her head. She's looking a lot shinier and healthier. It's just amazing what a bath can do for your birds. It's so important. My next challenge was going to be getting her from the bed back to her aviary, because I didn't want to have to pick her up in a towel, force her to do anything she didn't want to do, or really upset her. So I just had to work out a way of how to get her from where she was really content, sat on my bed, falling asleep and just having a nice time, back to her aviary. Incredibly, I managed to convince her onto my arm. She rushed up onto my shoulder and I just carried her straight through the house and back into her aviary that way. This morning I convinced her into a travel box so I could carry her safely to her outside aviary, where I fed her breakfast so she could eat her vegetables in the sunshine and get some really much needed sun on those feathers. So she's had her breakfast, it got to around lunchtime, and I thought I'd go out in the aviary and do a little bit of pushing the boundaries again to see how much we can get away with, so you can get a real view of how she is. Didn't go well, so back in the carrier into the house to make friends while I had some brunch. A little bit of temptation with a blueberry to be my friend again, which actually worked. She had a tiny little bit of strawberry and a blueberry and I was her best friend again. Previously, she's been fed on an all-seed diet, so she's really craving the nuts and seeds now that we've changed how we're feeding her. All I wanted to do there was lean over my arm to get the nut, but surprisingly, she was so keen to get it that she put her foot on. I continued to do this. I just wanted to be comfortable with my arm near her, which you can see here she's not really. It was very clear in the aviary that she wasn't, but with some patience and a little bit of luring, which I'm not a huge fan of, I did get her to step up with one foot onto my arm. So going forward, I'm going to work on target training and get her to target onto, over and around my arm. Here she is sat with me now. It's been quite a full-on first 24 hours for a bird coming into a new environment. So we're going to leave it there and not push it anymore, let her settle in and just work on a few of our training basics, and we shall keep you updated really, really soon. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Take care and we'll see you really, really soon.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Rat. Rat.